Come on, you gotta work harder than the next man, right? It's the will of the man, it ain't the skill of the man. Yeah, he can't play you. He can't do nothing with you.
In He Got Game, the young Jesus Shuttlesworth is being trained by his father to not just be a good basketball player, but to be mentally tough.
You were the only two people up. Me, you, and Michael Jordan, that's the only people up. Everybody else in the world is asleep. What you think Jordan doing right now? He working out. He lifting weights right now.
And when you watch the way that his father is training him, he is doing it in a loving manner, but of course he's not pulling any punches. He's tough on his son. And there are two things about that is interesting. Of course, the first thing is, in today's day and age, many people will refer to this as cruelty in light of using the A word. But the other side of it is it not cruelty to tell a young boy how the world's going to be for him when he grows up? Because if you lie to him, instead of the world being cruel to him through his father, the world would be cruel to him through trying to find a mate.
Iceland has ranked as the most gender-equal country in the world for the last 15 years. One of the secrets to their success? Start early.
At this nursery, the girls and the boys are separated, and they're encouraged to do things that are normally associated with the opposite sex.
One of the things you're going to see in the BBC story is that the focus is on doing the things that guys do, or the things that people think guys do. You can see with Meg Thee Stallion here. Treat women like objects? Okay, well, I'm going to treat men like objects. But that's not the essence of masculinity and manhood. The essence of masculinity and manhood is perform or be replaced.
The girls are taught to be unapologetic and fierce.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's great that young girls are taught to be strong, independent, autonomous human beings, that showing strong emotion is something they shouldn't be bashful about. But let's not make any mistake about it. Showing this kind of emotion, throwing things, yelling, is not what makes a boy a man. And it's not going to make a girl masculine. It's not really even mimicking masculinity, because the most masculine of men are stoic in times of great peril or in great difficulty. And if this is what you're going to teach the girls, what are you going to teach the boys?
While the boys are getting in touch with their caring side, the idea is that they develop their personalities without the constraints of conventional gender stereotypes.
We out the projects, baby. We out the projects. Where we gonna live at, son? Where we living at, yo? Where we living at? Huh? We living on the east side? Where we at?
Meanwhile, the boys are getting in touch with their caring side. The idea is that they develop their personalities without the constraints of conventional gender stereotypes.
Spurði ég hann einhvern tímann, ætlar þú að vera Superman? Og hún alveg, nei, ég vil vera superkona.
The BBC titles this piece, "Is Iceland the Best Place to Be a Woman?" Of course, they document the equity in pay and how it's legislated so that if men and women are working the same job, they are by law destined to get the same amount of money.
Iceland became the first country in the world to make it illegal to pay men more than women for the same job.
Have you ever felt, oh, if I get pregnant, things will be hard for me at work?
No, never. I've never felt like pressure of not having kids because of my career.
Parental leave here is 12 months. Parents can split it equally, and 90% of all fathers take it. Research shows that after returning to work, they continued to be significantly more involved.
In theory, this all sounds fantastic. I think for young ladies to grow up and be whatever they want to be is fantastic for young ladies. I think it's fair for them. But the truth of the matter is, when those girls grow up, who do they want to partner with? That is the truth that we have to tell boys, because if they don't become that, then they grow up and they say, I was told to be more sensitive, to be more emotionally available. I was told to be in a 50-50 relationship. But when you grow up and you hear the truth, then boys are going to feel betrayed.
So do you think men are becoming gold diggers?
Yes, men are becoming more gold diggers. I'll tell you why. Because a 50-50 man is a gold digger. I would say that's the equivalent for a man, is if he's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to pay for that. We'll do 50-50.
Right.
And that, in a way, that's that is the equivalent of a gold digger for a man. Because
I would maybe even take it a step further, that it's the 50-50 and the men that want the women to do every single other thing in the house. Like take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Like a woman works and she does everything else. I'd say that's the male gold digger.
That's the male gold digger.
Because what is he doing? He's like the trophy wife, but
who would take that deal?
We're up on West Side, Central Park, West somewhere. Yeah, where we gonna be at, huh? What you gonna buy your mama, son? What you gonna buy? Come on. A big house, right? How many bedrooms? How many bedrooms?
How many she want?
As many as she wants.
The truth of the matter about true gender equity is that in order for there to be actual equity, there should actually be a growing number of not just stay-at-home husbands, but trophy husbands, as in men who not just are staying at home, but maybe even not pulling their share of the housework or making money. It's just the woman is so smitten by the guy that she's willing to take him off the market and pay for him. Because that's kind of sort of what's happening in the opposite direction, or it has been our biology to do that for a very long time. Now, of course, it sounds a bit strange to say this out loud, but that is the other side of gender equity. You know what? I got to take this guy off the market. I'm going to buy him and take him completely off because he is my guy. But guys grow up in the real world where when guys try to look for not even that, just 50-50, they're being told that they're gold diggers. And it leads right back to where we started.
Don't never let them see you weak. Stan, let me tell you something. Don't never let them see you weak. This for everything. You miss, you know you give me 10 push-ups, right? You know if you miss, you give me 10 push-ups, right? All right, show me what you got.
It's the tough love that Jesus Shuttlesworth gets from his dad that actually prepares him for the coldness of the world. And what's interesting is that when you look at people react to this particular video, they resonated with this kind of tough love from their father. One guy says, deep down, we all wanted this from a father. Another, wish my dad was this hard on me and treated me like this and did this for me. And you see the number of likes. Another guy says, I have a friend whose father was like this. He went on to win a national championship in football and is overall an impressive person. And the last person, effing love this S. Guys understand that in order to be prepared for the world as it actually is, you need this tough love. You need it. Because the world is not going to brush your hair like we're seeing in the video from the BBC. It's not going to massage your back. If you're not the guy that everyone is looking to go after, you get nothing. That is a bare bones true assessment of masculinity.
It's the will of the man, it ain't the skill of the man.
When I see this kind of a caption on the picture, what it really tells me is that Meg Thee Stallion is just putting on the mascara, quote unquote, of masculinity. The parts of masculinity that everyone thinks is the cool part. Like, oh, I'm the guy who is select and I have a lot of different women at my beck and call, so I can treat them like objects. Which is essentially the masculinity of a very, very, very small group of men. And there's a very large group of men who go nameless and faceless on a daily basis, who pretty much do the things that don't get a lot of glory, but that kind of make the world go round. The sewer stuff, the internet stuff, the war stuff, the building cars stuff, the making ships and airplanes go stuff. Of course, women contribute to all of those trades, but drilling in the ocean is not something that most women are really doing. And a lot of those guys are not guys who have the privilege, quote unquote, of treating women like objects. And so what I see for a lot of the young ladies in today's culture is that they're being told, I'm just going to put on the mascara of what I think masculinity is, which is I can treat guys like they're replaceable and I can do what I want and I essentially can have my cake and eat it too. Of course, that's a very small group of men. And the true masculinity that men put on when they are in war zones or when they're on oil derricks or when they're doing very difficult jobs or even if they're doing the necessary things to make sure that their family can continue to eat is a very stoic face that is emotionless, that doesn't care if you are the person that is happy or getting what you want out of life. The bottom line is, did you perform or not? It's not the skill, it's the will. And a lot of times that will of men is just not really celebrated. It's not really appreciated. It's expected. And that is something that boys need to be told. You're supposed to do this. If you do this, there's something on the other end. And on the other end, if young ladies are going to assume masculinity, they got to eat the whole apple, all of it. You perform or be replaced. I only wonder if girls can deal with the full bite of the apple. Because the truth of the matter is, the whole bite of masculinity, when it comes down to what this really is not easy to swallow. So it's best to teach boys the truth from the beginning. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.